Hello friends, today we are going to continue the next part of the function that we have discussed in previous lecture. So in this lecture we mainly focus on different types of function and how to solve example based on the function. So I am just revising. In previous lecture we have already seen that function is nothing but a relation, okay, and this relation satisfies certain condition, which is it exactly give one output for one input, okay. So it won't give you two output for the same input. That is not the relation. In Venn diagram we have seen that if it is of the kind like here we have input and here we have output, then each of these inputs should have distinct output, okay. So this may happen that both of these input have the same output, that is allowed, but this won't happen. Like if you have an input and here you have multiple output and you are getting different output, two output for the same input. So this is not function, this is a function. That's how we see. Mathematically we represent the function is as y equals to f of x, that we have seen. This is your output, this is your input. This is called independent variable because its value is depend on x, and this is called independent variable, okay. Different examples we have seen. Admission procedure example we have seen. One another example is your examination procedure, right? Whatever examination procedure you are facing, so you write a paper here, you submit your paper, okay. We have certain rules to check your paper. Based on that rule you get marks, and based on this mark you get as pass or fail, okay. So we have a criteria that if you score mark above than 40% or 42, then you are pass, less than 42 then you are fail, something. We have these kind of rules. So this is the function again. So your paper is input and this pass or fail is your output. This is the example of function. So in this each of student, suppose we have 63 student in our class, so all these 63 papers are the distinct value of x, distinct value of input. So all these 63 papers are nothing but domain of this function. And what is the codomain value of this function? It is pass or fail. So pass comma fail, these two values are codomain of the function. And this is also range or image because only two values are there and both we are going to use it. So that's how the function is. Again, if you want to change your result, suppose you want to pass, then you cannot change this output directly. You need to change your paper. You need to write your paper in this way that you should score 42 marks and you will get the pass result. So directly you cannot change this output. That's why it is called dependent variable. These two values are the variable and this is called dependent because its value actually depend on your paper. And this is independent value, right? You can write anything in your paper. If you want to pass, then you must write paper in such a way that you should score marks greater than 42 or 42, right? So this is the independent variable. So in function, simply just remember that we have something we input here that we are indicating with x, and then we get output that we indicate with y, and here certain rules are there, okay. Alright, now here it is not happen that one student, suppose this is your roll number 1, we have 63 papers here and roll number 1 get both the result, pass as well as fail. So if I represent this in a Venn diagram, then how it will be? So suppose here 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 63 students are there, x1, x2, x3, x4, and here I have two output, y1, y2. So pass or fail. Okay, so every student will get either pass or fail, pass, fail, pass, fail. But is this possible that one student got two results, pass as well as fail? He got two results. No, that's not possible, right? So that's why if this case is happened, then it is not a function, right? But this never happened. So every distinct student have a distinct output. That's why it's a function. Now we are going to see different types of function. So the first function that I want here to explain you is algebraic function. Is called as, I'll just write it here. First one, algebraic function. So simply, if you have a function in a form of polynomial and addition plus minus multiplication division, that symbols are used, then this is called as algebraic function. Example, x cube plus 3x plus 2 or y equal to 2x minus 1. This kind of function is called as algebraic function. Second one, trigonometric function. So if function involves some trigonometric term, it is called as trigonometry function. For example, y equal to sin x plus cos x. Okay, so trigonometric terms are involved. That's why it is called as trigonometry. Third function is logarithmic function. I am not explaining this term much because that are quite simple. So if function have some logarithmic term, then it is called as logarithmic function. Example is this kind of function. Exponential function. If function have some exponential term, for example y equals to e to the power x plus ax, or y equals to 2 to the power x plus bx, this kind of thing. If exponential indices kind of thing is there, then that is called as exponential function. Next one that I want you to understand is explicit function. Explicit function. So this is the function where your output, you can write your output in one side and your input in another side. So clearly you can write y equals to f of x. If this is the case, then this is called as explicit function. So here you have pure output and here you have all of your input terminologies. So the examples all these examples are the explicit function. You have output in one side and input in another side. Output here, input here. Output here, input here. So all these are explicit function. On the other hand, the implicit function are difficult. So implicit function is where you cannot have separated output and input. So it is written as f of xy equal to 0. Okay, this is the standard form of implicit function, and this is the standard form of explicit function, y equal to f of x. So the example is, for example, sin xy plus x square equal to 0. Okay, now this y is your output and x is your input, but we cannot separate it. We cannot write y in one side and x at another side. This cannot be happen. It is very difficult to separate this y from this x. So this kind of function is called as implicit function. Another example is log of x, sorry about the page, log of x into y plus cos xy equal to 0. Here also it is very difficult to separate this y. We cannot write y in one side and x on another side. So that's why we represent it as f of xy equal to 0. Okay. So always x and y are combined there. So that is called as implicit function. Now next term is parametric function. Parametric function. So in parametric function, this x and y are not directly related. For example, I have a equation y equals to sin t and x equals to cos t. Okay. So this x and y are not directly connected. For example, here in above example, y equals to log x plus log to the base e of x plus 1. Here x and y are directly connected. If you want to change the y, you just need to change the value of x. Whatever x you put, you will get value of y directly. Here x and y are not directly connected. They are connected through some another variable which is t. And this t is called as parameter. Okay, parameter. So this kind of function is called as parametric function. Next is periodic function. So periodic value is, you already know that if the value is repeated after certain time, then this is called as periodic value or periodic function. For example, revolution of earth around the sun is a periodic one. Okay. So then that's why we got day and night. So every time at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock you see the sunrise and you see the sunset at evening 7 o'clock or 7:15 kind of thing. So somehow it's repeated, like every year on the specific month the timing are same. So these kind of functions are called as periodic function. So all trigonometric function are periodic function. Just remember this one. We are going to see this in detail. But for the time being, just remember that all trigonometric function are periodic function. Now next one is even function. So even function means they are equally distributed or equally when you plot it on a coordinate system, it will show you the equally symmetric to the x-axis. So it satisfies the property that if f of minus x equal to f of x, if this condition is satisfied, then the function is called as even function. For example, y equal to sin x. Okay. Now I want to check. Okay, I'll explain this example after explaining this odd function definition. So odd function is the opposite one. If it satisfies the condition f of minus x equals to minus f of x, this minus sign came outside here, then this is called as odd function. And in even function, this minus x sign get absorbed inside the f of x. So that is called even function. So for example, if I have a function y equal to cos x, okay, now I want to check whether this function is even or odd. So here what I have, f of x equal to cos x. Now how will I check whether this function is even or odd? I will try to find out value of f of minus x. And how will I find out value of f of minus x? I will just replace x with minus x. Okay, replace x with minus x. What will I get? Now I need to change this x with minus x. So f of minus x equal to cos minus x. Okay, what I did? I just changed this x with minus x. So I get value of f of minus x. Now we all know that cos of minus theta equal to cos theta again. This minus sign absorb in the cosine angle. So what will be the value of this cos minus theta? Cos theta again. Sorry, cos x again. And what is this cos x? This cos x is nothing but f of x. So what I get? F of x. So what condition I satisfied? My function satisfy f of minus x equal to f of x. and this is nothing but the condition for even function. So this y equal to cos of x turn out as even function. Okay. Next, for example, I will take the another example, f of x equal to sin x. Okay. Now again I will replace x with minus x. So I will get f of minus x equal to sin minus x. I change this x with minus sign. Now we all know that sin minus theta is equal to minus sin theta. So what will I get here? Minus sin x, and this sin x is nothing but my f of x. So it is minus f of x. So I get f of minus x equal to minus f of x. This is the condition for odd function. So y equals to sin x is nothing but odd function. Okay, that's how we check even and odd function. For example, I want you, we will solve some more example that check whether f of x equal to x square plus cos x is even or odd. Okay, we want to check this. So to check this, first of all I need to replace x with minus x. I will just change x with minus x. So three places are there where x is there. I am going to change it with minus x. So I will get f of minus x equal to minus x square plus cos minus x. Okay, so f of minus x equal to minus x square is x square. We know that square of any term is positive, and cos minus theta we just check. Cos minus theta is again cos theta, so plus cos x. Now x square plus cos x is my f of x. So I get the condition f of minus x equal to f of x. So therefore this given function is even function. Okay, that's how we check even and odd function. So I want you to solve few example. Check all these example whether they are even or odd. Check for even oblique odd function. The first example I am giving you is f of x equal to x cube minus sin x. Second example I am giving you f of x equal to e to the power x plus e to the power minus x divided by 2. Third I am giving you f of x equal to a to the power x minus a to the power minus x divided by 2. So just check whether these are even function or odd function. I hope you understand the lecture. If you have any query or if you want me to explain anything, just let me know in the comment section. Till then, have a nice day. Bye.